Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is going to be about TNA results for the Impact Wrestling for next week, being around the 8th, I believe, of December 8th. December 8th, 2012. It's nice knowing to predict the future. Okay. But first, as normal, the TNA news on certain stars. Okay, Ken Anderson defended his friend Jeff Hardy during an interview with the UK Sun. Quoted a guy like Jeff Hardy, regardless of what you think about him personally, is a tremendous entertainer. Anderson said, and he loves this business and gives all he can to this business. Everybody makes mistakes, everybody does stupid stuff. I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but when you've had a career that he's had and gone and done the things that he's done, you're bound to make mistakes. When you do make mistakes, people are going to look at it with a magnifying glass and amplify it and make it bigger than it usually is, almost as much as the President of the United States. When he goes and smokes pot in the bathroom, everybody's going to know. I think he's done a great job of overcoming that and recognizing, I did this. This is my problem. How do I fix it? So I don't do it again. How do I move forward? He's done all those things, and I have no judgments about Jeff Hardy other than the fact that he's a great performer and a hell of a guy, unquote. To access the entire audio interview, visit thesun.co.uk. Anderson also spoke highly about his Bound for Glory match with Bully Ray and working with Sting and the upcoming UK tour. Former WWE and TNA star Matt Hardy was finally released from jail on Monday following a pretrial court hearing in Carthage, North Carolina, according to Mike Aldrin, Wrestling Gloat newsletter. So he spent about 10 days in jail. Hardy was arrested 10 days ago. Well, now it's been 11 since the report. This is now Wednesday, so it's actually 13 days. After being kicked out of WWE sponsored rehab for consuming alcohol, he claimed he was using mouthwash at the time. Hardy was ordered to complete his rehabilitation program as part of his release from jail on Monday. District Court Judge Robert Wilkins lowered Hardy's bond from $1 million down to $100,000. This was done over the state's objection. District Attorney Maureen Kruger told thepilot.com. It's good to hear he's going back to rehab rather than returning home. If Hardy fails to complete rehab, his bond will increase to $250,000 instead. Well, okay. Other news: Sarita was hospitalized Tuesday after taking a hard fall during a 2 out of 3 falls match in Mexico City. I believe that was yesterday, or was it last week? Sarita, who appeared as Dark Angel for Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, slipped on the top rope while attempting to dive and crashed on the hardwood floor. She was placed on a stretcher and immediately hospitalized. Wednesday evening on Facebook, Sarita thanked her fans for their well wishes, stated while she remains sore, she is fine. She said she fully intends on competing on today's CMLL bodybuilding competition. Well, that was from last week, which she has won 5 years in a row. Well, guess what? She won again. And she's quoted on Facebook and also Twitter. She wrote, "Gracias," among other words in Spanish. I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronunciate them. So that's why I just cut that little thing short. Meanwhile, Power Slam reports she has made a full recovery from her facial paralysis. Serena, who is known as Dark Angel in Mexico, won the CMLL Bodybuilding Championship for the 6th consecutive year. Thanksgiving Day in Mexico City, she beat Dallas and Princesa Suji to win the title. The competition was not without controversy, as the TNA knockout was booed by fans who felt Dallas should have won. And Serena thanked the fans for their support on Facebook. She wrote, "Thank you to everyone who came out to support me at the contest to help me get the win." Well, after the Thanksgiving episode of Impact Wrestling, Knockouts VP Karen Jarrett starred on the post show with Jeremy Borash, and she was livid over the Knockouts disobeying her orders to show more skin last Thursday's episode of Impact Wrestling, and is now planning some major punishment for all the ladies on next week's show. Well, that's tomorrow night's episode. That's Thursday night, and next week's. She stopped by the Impact Wrestling post show to address her plans for this week's show and next week, and how she has taken matters into her own hands with the Knockouts. Well, in the video, she said, she's going to do some shopping and give everybody outfits of her choice for them to wear. And she vented to Jeremy Borash, "These stupid little bitches think they're going to continue to mess with me. I tell them to cover up, they won't cover up. Then I tell them to take it off, and they put more on than what they normally wear. Well, you know what? They have messed with the wrong lady. One thing that they continue to forget, as I'm running a show around here, they answer to me. So next week, that means tomorrow night, I'm going shopping. One of my favorite things to do, and I'm going to provide the outfits that they are going to wear in the ring. They want to play the games? Game freaking on, bitches," she quoted. Watch the video on youtube.com/TNA Wrestling. Post-show link for Thanksgiving night episode. Well, also TNA is doing a storyline in Mexico's AAA promotion, since Jeff Jarrett is the AAA heavyweight champion, and he has put a 700,000 peso or $50,000 bounty on El Macias. Well, if you're not familiar with El Macias, he used to be in TNA Wrestling under the character of Judas Macias. The first person going after the bounty will be TNA wrestler Gunner on the November 20th show in Pachuca. Well, the whole program for that is called Assistência Assessora y Administración AAA is running a storyline where the World Heavyweight Champion Jeff Jarrett has placed a bounty for anyone that can put an end to the career of El Macias. Jarrett is offering $50,000 US dollars for the bounty. As noted before, TNA is interested in John Morrison and Melina. TNA's Bruce Pritchard is said to be a big proponent of the couple, but the belief among some is that Morrison will be taking time off to pursue non-wrestling entertainment work. So look for sometime in 2012 he will be in TNA. James Storm says he has not been cleared to wrestle for another 2 weeks after visiting a specialist on Sunday to determine his recovery from his concussion. And he's quoted by saying, "Thanks for all the wishes, but wasn't cleared to wrestle yet. Another checkup in 2 weeks," Storm wrote on Monday. A match pitting Samoa Joe against Doug Williams was taped on Monday in Orlando, Florida for next week's episode of TNA Explosion. It marks as Joe's first appearance on the program since February 2006. Also, taped last night was Devon versus Rob Terry was taped on Tuesday night for Explosion. A bikini-clad Sarita is featured on the cover of the latest issue of Super Luchas. Eric Bischoff wrote the following on Twitter yesterday about Jeff Hardy. Quote, very impressed with the way Jeff Hardy is handling himself, taking responsibility, changed his life, and is 100% professional. I doubted Jeff. Not anymore. Admire him for having the balls to overcome his issues and raise his game, unquote. Okay, Thanksgiving 2011 edition of TNA Impact Wrestling scored a 0.99 cable rating with 1.40 million viewers. Hour 1 did a 0.91 rating, while the second hour went up to 1.07. The week's highest quarter rating was a 1.09, and the highest rating during the show was the Eric Young versus Robbie E match that had the turkey suit match. That was a turkey suit match on Thanksgiving. Gunner will be going after the bounty at tonight's show in Hidalgo, Mexico. That was actually last night. Jesse Neal tweeted earlier this week that he's headed to the TNA Impact tapings and is in the mood to punch somebody in the face. Unquote, so he said. More detailed show for December 1st. That's tomorrow night's episode of Impact. So this will be a double report. Credit by Bruce Boudreaux and PW Insider. Match number 1, D'Angelo Dinero and Devon defeated Inc. and Mexican America to become the number 1 contenders for the TNA Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles. Devon got the victory over Jesse Neal with a spine buster. Alright, next segment, Sting came to the ring in his capacity as the man in charge of Decision. In the Impact Zone, Sting asked for the Impact Wrestling World Champion Bobby Roode to come out to the ring. After he talked about how the inmates were running the asylum, Roode did not seem to be impressed with Sting's request, and he told Sting to hurry up. Sting tried to show Roode who was in charge. Roode talked about how Sting should appreciate the things that he is doing as the world champion, but Sting says that there are consequences for what he has done. Well, AJ Styles comes to the ring and addresses Roode and talks about how AJ has Sting fighting his battles for him. Jeff Hardy also comes out and Sting announces that the main event will be a triple threat match between AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Bobby Roode. Sting mentions that the title is not going to be defended in that match. Okay. Next up was Impact Wrestling X Division champion Austin Aries coming out. He says that he is the greatest man that ever lived. And he's even greater than he thought he could be. Aries talked about himself and how he wanted to revitalize the X Division, and he has defeated everyone, including Jesse Sorensen. Aries responds to some of the female fans in the crowd. Aries talks about how he wants new blood, and Cash makes his way to the ring. Cash talks about Aries, how Aries walked out on him during their recent tag match. Aries reminds Cash that he is still the X Division champion. Cash points out that he was the X Division champion before Aries ever came to TNA. Aries put the title belt between him and Cash, and he gives Cash the opportunity to face him for the X Division title. Cash shakes Aries' hand, and they both punch each other. They start a brawl, and Aries is knocked out of the ring. Match number 2, finally, Mickie James defeated ODB in a knockout street fight. Mickie pinned ODB after a spin kick while ODB held a chair. They fought through the Impact Zone. Match number 3. Impact Wrestling TV champion Robbie E. with Rob Terry defeated Rob Van Dam in a TV title match. During the match, Eric Young came out and distracted the referee and Rob Terry. Christopher Daniels also got involved and gave Van Dam's Angels wings and placed Robbie on top of Van Dam for the win. The Knockouts were in the back washing a car while wearing bikinis. Tara and Angelina Love started arguing and all 6 women started fighting. Some of the wrestlers watched the attack and tried to play peacekeeper. Impact Wrestling Knockout Champion and one half of the top Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Gail Kim, sprayed the women with a hose. Match number 4, Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Roode defeated Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles in the triple threat match. Roode pinned Hardy after Jeff Jarrett interfered and knocked Hardy off the top rope when Hardy tried for a swanton. And don't forget, Jeff Hardy is having back problems due to some type of botch that he did with his swanton, as quoted by his wife. Sting stopped Jarrett and told him that he would be facing Jeff Hardy in a steel cage match, where the only way to win is to escape. If the stipulations to this match, if Jeff Jarrett wins the match, Jeff Hardy has to leave the company. If Jeff Hardy wins the match, Jeff becomes the new #1 contender for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight title. Well, Kara Jarrett comes out to the ring and Sting announces that the match between Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy at Final Resolution. Karen is to be handcuffed to Sting. In a match tape for Explosion, Samoa Joe defeated Douglas Williams by submission. And that ended this week's taping for tomorrow night's Impact show. Now for next week's December the 8th episode, thanks to Troy McCabe for sending this in. We hope they open the show with an in-ring promo with Sting, Dixie Carter, and Bobby Roode. Sting wants Roode to apologize to Dixie, but Roode refused to. Roode ends up spitting on Dixie and then bailing from the ring. Well, next up, Abyss defeated Samoa Joe after interference from Billy Ray and Scott Steiner. After the match, Steiner and Ray were in the ring with Abyss trying to kiss up to him. And when Abyss hit Steiner with the back, then Abyss hit Steiner with the black hole slam. Then we have another promo in the ring, this time involving Devon, the Pope, Crimson, and Matt Morgan. All 4 men set up their match at Final Resolution. Then Pope got the mic. He runs down Crimson and Matt Morgan. A fight broke out where Devon and Crimson fight to the back. Devon's kids get in the ring and help Pope beat down Morgan before bailing from the ring. Mickie James defeated Madison Rayne. Afterwards, Gail Kim come out and stares down Mickie. Garrett Bischoff defeated Gunner with a roll-up again. After the match, Gunner pile drove Garrett on the concrete on the outside with help from his dad, Eric Bischoff. Garrett gets tended to by medics and gets stretchered out. We get another in-ring promo between Kurt Angle and James Storm. They're setting up their match at Final Resolution. Storm runs down his history about fighting against all odds. Storm allows Angle to hit him from behind, but Angle doesn't do so. By the report says good segment there. Next up was the Gail Kim defeating Tracy Brooks. Tracy originally laid down for Gail, but kicked out at 2. She fought back and had the advantage when Karen Jarrett distracted the referee. Madison Rayne interfered and allowed Gail to get the win. And their main event was AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy beating Bobby Roode and Jeff Jarrett in a tag team match. Hardy came out to a huge pop. Styles had an okay pop. Hardy and Jarrett fought to the back, leaving Roode and AJ in the ring. AJ hurt his knee during the match, but was able to reverse Roode's finisher into a roll-up. AJ fought off an attack from Roode after the match, but was attacked again on the top of the stage. Roode attacked AJ's tweaked knee, slamming it on the stage to end the show. Thanks for viewing, and more TNA news in 2 weeks when they do another TV taping. Or it's a setup for the pay-per-view, I believe. Wait and see. And also catch more WWE news on Monday night and Tuesday night when they do their tapings. Of course, Raw is live. SmackDown won't be live next week. Peace out. God bless y'all. Have a nice weekend.